Hello, welcome again. I've got another mower here that I've acquired, a MOUNTFIELD M3 engine, rear roller, quite a heavy bit of machinery. I would say he's extremely heavy domestic, good mid-range commercial, maybe light industrial. In non-working condition, I pressure washed them off, and I've had a look on the internet and I can't find much about them. So I thought I'd just knock this video up for anybody who's interested in this type of mower. Well, general look around it, red in colour, black engine, pull start, but also we've got an electric start function. I haven't got a key for it at the moment, but that'll come later, I expect. So I knew nothing about him. So principally, quick look around him. We've got a roller on the back, off-centre chute, and we've got a cover on the front. I think that's the gearbox for him, and good all-round condition. Little bit of paint gone. Overhead valve, exhaust on the right hand side, height adjustment on the left hand side of the mower. As you can see, easily adjustable up and down. And we've got handles on the side, knob you can turn to actually fold the mower in half. We'll see that a little bit later. And a black cover that when lifted shows there is a battery missing, so obviously we need to look into that to see if he works. The mower itself model has a label there, turning the other way, Ransom Consumer Limited, make and model 18-inch cut, and you can see 80 kilograms, 60 kilograms, so blimey. She is a bit heavy, isn't she? So on the whole, quite a nice machine. Now I believe we've got a red handle up here, which basically means that when you engage it, you can stop and allow the blade to rotate and not rotate. That's a safety feature for when you actually remove the grass bag. So you don't get anything in the face, and you don't put your hands in and cut the blade. That looks all pretty good. On the front, as I said, we got a key start. We've got throttle control by the look of it, and I would say that's how you stop the engine as well. Try that later. And we've also got roller control, which is the hand on the front. I guess that's propulsion and not propulsion. So we'll see if we can get him going. Enjoy. Before we actually get him going, have a look about it underneath. So I drain the oil out and the fuel. See a shadow go across, sorry about that. Having a look underneath. Now it says 18-inch, so I guess that's an 18-inch blade. Couple of bolts, but a nice little mechanism in there. I believe that red lever you saw engages and disengages the drive, so it might be a clutch mechanism. Interesting. Powerful spring, and further into it we've got a belt. Now that belt comes off the engine, so that'll be the drive mower, so that one will probably need replacing, but we'll see how we go. Looks quite reasonable to actually change the belt. So let's take the top cover off the engine and see what you got underneath there. Okay, got a couple of screwdrivers there, a flat and a Phillips. So what we need first is the flat. I've loosened them already, so we're just going to take off two of these screws, and this should expose the air filter, I guess, underneath. Okay, one air filter. Looks in pretty good, doesn't it? Check him a little bit later. sits on top of the carb. What looks like very little adjustment apart from the priming bowl. Spark plug, yeah, everything looks in good order at the moment, but we'll check him later. So pressure washer looks like it's done its job. We've got 2 more screws to take off, which are 2 Phillips screws. We can get them on in the right hand. 1, 2. Easy to do, not a problem at all. And there is, I believe on this I'm told, there's a little lever right in the back underneath that you need to grab hold of, just there, and that lifts the plastic. The fuel cap is a safe operation where just undo it, because you need to lift that up over there, and the pull cord, tuck him underneath, and off she comes, which exposes the top of the engine. Just putting the fuel cap on for safety. So nothing really to go wrong on it, just a few wires down the back that I guess the starter motor, which is there, looks pretty good. We got a priming button on the front. They're prone to going, easy to replace. See the spark plug a little bit easier now. Cap looks in good condition. Quick look around the other side. Nothing really different. These fuel seems to be straightforward, and the oil normally leaks down the bottom in there, but this one looks in pretty good nick. Exhaust system, quite a basic standard with a cover on it. So okay, next time you see it, go to service on it, put some oil in it, see where we go with it. What I like to do now is just check that the switch circuit will work. Where the battery actually goes, there's a couple of leads. We've got the red one, we've got the black one. So what I've done is put a couple of short wires in so I can get my ohmmeter, and I can clamp on the red wire, which is basically the battery. What I want to do is see if it goes up through the copex up to the switch, and basically back down the switch and to the plug which I disconnected that comes from the switch, and then it goes into the starter motor plug, and it should turn it over with the positive and the negative. So what I need to do is just put the other end of the crimp, the other end of the lead, onto the red lead, which is returning from the switch. Like so. Turn on the ohmmeter for circuit. At the moment it should be open. There we go. And then what we do is go up to the key switch. Hopefully you can see key switch and the meter. So let's turn the key and we should have a reading on the meter. There you go, 1 ohm, thereabouts, which is what you would expect. And then released because the engine's running now. So start, meter reading, okay. That's a good positive wire. So it'd be nice now to see if the starter motor has got a ground circuit. So what we'll do is go on to the negative, which is the black wire on the other side. Obviously making sure nothing touches. Then, with the meter having an open circuit, we go on the negative. And there you go. So we're on the negative, so we should start the motor. So let's remove all that. Let's get the plug to make it easy. And let's see if we've got any circuit. 2 leads, which are the larger 2, and the other brown lead, it comes from the charger. So when the actual engine's running, it will put a voltage back up the smaller lead, up the smaller red lead and then charge the battery. So we'll just see if we've got anything on the motor. So I'm going to go across one side. I don't think these are going to be that good, eh? I might have to hold it. And it's not easy to do. And go on to the other side. And look at the meter. We have got a circuit, so off the plug and back on the plug. So we have got a circuit there, so something might happen. So fingers crossed later when we get it all back together, it should go. Just to show a little bit closer how this clutch mechanism works on a blade. So what I've done is attach the rope back up to the red handle. So when I actually pull the rope, I'm simulating energizing of the red handle and releasing it. So what we'll do is show the clutch mechanism at the moment where the actual blade goes across those two screws. I use my hand just to turn it. So at the moment she can't turn, so the blade is stationary, but on actually pulling the string and engaging the arm, what you get now is a engine that will turn the blade. If you can see the belt moving at the same time. And now when I again release the tension on the handle, go back to the mechanism, it's very difficult to turn because the clutch is in and the belt don't turn. So that basically says the blade stops. That's a good safety feature. Now while we adding off, primarily I took the liberty of sharpening, balancing and painting. So I'll put him back on. There's plenty of videos on in due course, so I'm not going to bother you with that. Now we've got a completed M3 made by MOUNTFIELD motor mower. We've got the blade fitted, as you saw just now. I put some fuel in her. So to show you, we've got some fuel there and oil, fresh 0.5 of a litre, believed to be 6.5 horsepower. Comes up to the full on the dipstick, so quite happy it's not overfilled. Underneath here I put a 7 amp hour battery. It's all I had at the time. He's a little bit taller, probably nearly new, so we should be okay. Don't quite fit in. I think he should be a 4 amp hour battery, a little bit lower, but he'll do the trick. Touched up the paintwork, so looking quite nice. On the rear here we've got key and ignition. Everything works according to plan. We've got the stop position, we've got the go button, which is further forward the faster the engine. Pull it back and the engine will stop. We have the blade engage disengage, so when we pull the lever towards us, that engages the blade, takes off the clutch, which allows you to cut the grass. And then when you want to change, which you remove the bar, engage the clutch, then you can take the bag off the back and you won't chop your fingers off. Very good safety feature. Ignition key, as we're in the stop position, just show that it will turn. Going to the side, we've got the height adjuster in full working order and locks in. So on the whole, a lovely looking mower. So we'll go around to the front. On a cold engine, priming button, it says 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And what we'll do to lighten the load off the engine, I'm going to lift the red bar, which is engaging the blade, which takes off the friction of the clutch. And then I'm going to turn the key. So what we'll do is put the throttle in the go position, retract the red bar, and then turn the key. So I'm going to put the phone in a position where I can hold the red bar. Sorry about my fingers getting in the way of the camera. And turn the key in there, see what happens. Whoa! So, if I drop the red bar, primarily the blade will stop. There she is. And then propulsion, just to make sure. And to stop the engine. I'm happy with that. So if anyone wants a bit of information on a MOUNTFIELD M3 roller self-propelled electric start lawnmower 18-inch, there you have it. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope it's been very useful to you.